All right, everybody, I'm back. Relax, I did not get canceled, but we will be talking a little bit about that. And I want to show off my new intro. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
All right, I'm back, and I'm not just back, I'm back on video too, so if you want to check out the new video intro, actually I'm going to load it onto my Instagram. I'll probably load it to at Dario the Show if you want to check it out, but any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram or at SuperDario_World. Also follow me on Facebook at SuperDarioWorld. I update everything there. So, new intro. It's been a really long time working on it, and I made a few mistakes along the way. It's not perfect. Don't fall too attached with it, at least the video part. I will be modifying it. Turns out, monitors, not great actors. So I need to, it took me a really long time to set something up. And, for those of you who saw the video, I recorded him a little bit and he's part of the video. It took me, let's say 20 tries to try to get him to do something. And it turns out that the first one that I did for practice, just to see if it worked, if the camera worked on water, is the one that I ended up using. And so I had to do a whole bunch of stuff to fix that because the other ones were set up with kind of a green screen. It was a mess, but I got it done. That's the end result. Hopefully you liked it. If not, well, there goes, a week of my life basically working on that piece of crap. Also, new logo. If you guys you can check it out again. I will load it onto my Instagram along with the intro. It's basically my monitor. I'm keeping with the Super Mario theme. So Mario's got Yoshi, I got Dark Star. So, slightly more adult. I like it. I don't know how you feel about it. Let me know. Like I said, I already told you where to reach out to me. And so let's talk a little bit about the topic of the day. And that's actually pretty funny because somebody actually did reach out to me because they thought that I got canceled. So cancel culture is pretty much the topic of the day. It's something that's pretty relevant right now. Pretty relevant, especially for those who work in media. Everybody and their mother is talking about cancel culture. Also, by the way, if you're checking me out on, on YouTube or something, I will change my background eventually. Don't fall in love with any of this. I will be working on it. It's just I spent most of the fucking week trying to set other stuff up. And it actually kind of has to do with the things that I was doing kind of have to do with cancel culture. Because I'm sick of social media and, certain social medias. And there's always a thread like, oh, you're going to go too far and you're going to get canceled. So I started looking into other websites that basically have the policy that we won't close your account for anything unless you break the law. So I did a whole bunch of research on that. I wasn't just sitting on my ass editing, which it was a big part, editing, but I've been working on other stuff, and that's why I took most of the week off, honestly. I was also working on setting up my now monitor, his new area. Since now I'm back on video, I'm going to do video every single time. Also, I had to do a little tests and stuff like that. I will be making like separate videos, so I can show you his enclosure and stuff like that. Random stuff. I'm a random person. I do random things. So hopefully you enjoy that. But let's go into cancel culture. And here's basically where I stand on it. It's stupid. I believe it is very stupid. It is ridiculous. And it's honestly not great for people. It's not great for the country. It's not great I don't like how things are going right now. It's not fun. I don't like feeling like we have to walk on eggshells. I don't like people feeling like they're worried that something that they said in the past, like, oh my God, is that going to get me fired today? Is that offensive now? I don't know. So I like consistency. I appreciate consistency. And they keep moving the goalposts. They keep moving the line. They keep changing the definition of words. I don't like it. So I want it to stop. And the way that I'm going to try to make it stop is, fortunately, I have a platform. It's not a big platform, but I have a platform, so I'm going to talk about it. But also, I'm going to be actively acting against whoever they want to cancel. So if you are trying to cancel somebody, I am going to actively support that person unless that person is a hypocrite. Now, what do I mean by that? That means that if that person, the person that's trying to be canceled, was in favor of somebody else being canceled in the past, well, I am very sorry for you. I will not be supporting you. Now, I'm not going to work against you because I still believe that you have to have a platform. I believe in free speech, but I will not be actively supporting you. And let me give you an example of supporting you. The president, or I said the CEO, I don't even know, but the CEO of a company called Goya. Well, this is actually two stories. I was walking out of work on Friday, and somebody mentioned, like, hey, did you know that, by the way, this company now is canceled? Like, why? Because apparently the CEO, Hispanics are canceling this company. Like, why? That doesn't sound like, I didn't know, but okay. It's like, all right, why? It's like, all right, well, apparently the CEO of the company said something about Trump, and he supported him, so now they're trying to cancel him. I was like, what the fuck kind of bullshit is that? Like, think about that. A dude supported the sitting president of the United States, be that who it be, don't put a name there. You say something that supports the president of the United States and you're getting canceled for that. To me, that was just complete and total BS. I went in to see what he said, and it was something like, oh yeah, we have a great president. That's it. That's why they wanted to cancel somebody. And here's the thing. You're not just canceling the CEO here. They were trying to cancel the whole company. So all the thousands of employees that work for this, whose salaries depend on this person or on that company, you would have screwed them over. So it's the cancel culture is like you just don't give a fuck about anybody but yourself. You're a bunch of fucking useless people who've never produced a thing in your fucking life, and that's why you're so happy just destroying somebody else's work. Right? Because it's not easy to get a platform. It's not easy to start a company. It's not easy to do anything in life. But if all you have to do is just type in a few emails or make a few phone calls, and most of these people don't even have fucking jobs, and you ruin somebody else's life, it's to me it's a disgusting thing to do. So I'm 100% against it. And so you know what? After hearing that, I was like, you know what? Fuck those guys. I'm gonna go out of my way to buy Goya products. I'm going to go out of my fucking way just to buy the products to teach them that this thing does not fucking work. You do not control me. And I know that a lot of people are like, man, I don't want to speak out because I don't want to be canceled. That's a big fear right now. Right now, let me just give you like a small list of things that people have been canceled for. A researcher said that research shows that when a protest turns violent, people tend to vote Republican. When protests are peaceful, people tend to vote Democrat. That was his study. He only tweeted the results of a piece of research, and they fired him for it. The editor of the New York Times, of the what is it, the post op? No, it's the op-eds. The op-eds editor of the New York Times got fired because he had the audacity to have a sitting U.S. senator who's a Republican write an article. Right, a senator of the United States wrote an article on the New York Times. That dude got fired. So the dude from Goya, he said, we have a great president. They tried to cancel him. J.K. Rowling said something, what was she said? Oh yeah, women and trans women are different. They tried to cancel her. Fortunately, she has fuck you money, so they have an advantage. The same thing as the CEO of Goya, he said fuck you, and because he has fuck you money. And so for the big guys, it's pretty easy. For the little guys, I understand you being scared, but the thing that we have to do here, and the easiest way is, you need to understand these people, they're paper tigers. They're useless people. They're paper tigers. They have no bite, right? They only have power if you give it to them. Remember Game of Thrones? Small man can cast a big shadow. They are nobodies, all right? They should not be dictating anything. I understand how it can be overwhelming if you have social media and all of a sudden you're getting thousands and thousands of emails. If you're used to getting, 10, 20, maybe 100 emails, and all of a sudden you get 1,000 of this person, this phone screener for this show is an a-hole, and he said something about blah, blah, blah. You should fire him. And you start getting thousands of those, you'll be like, holy shit, there's a lot of pressure. But if you look into it, those people probably not fans of the radio station you're working for. By the way, this didn't happen. I'm using it as an example. Most of them aren't even in the area. Most of them were probably not even going to buy your products. So you cannot cave into these losers, okay? I can't stress that enough. Paper tigers. Remember Reservoir Dogs? Are you going to bite, little doggy, or are you going to bite? Dogs that bark don't bite, all right? They only have power if you give it to them. And we've been giving them so much power lately, and it has to stop. The second story that I have, and that's the thing that kind of made me realize that this makes no fucking sense. I was with a couple of friends on Saturday. We were at a restaurant. We were outside in the patio. It was kind of a packed patio. There was people around, enough people around. And so we were just talking, and we were all stressed. So we're venting about certain things. And I was sharing the story of the Goya CEO because they hadn't heard. We were kind of talking about cancel culture. And as I'm sharing the story, I realized in myself, that when I was going to say the word Trump, by the way, we were speaking in Spanish. So it's like, all right, we got a little bit more privacy. But when I was going to say the word Trump, the name of the sitting president, I kind of felt a little bit wary about it. And I kind of looked around, somebody, all right. And then I said it. My friend, same thing. When he was going to answer something and he was saying in Spanish, no, pues lo que pasa es con Trump. Like, he looked around, body hunched over, and I'm like, all right, the name of the president of the United States, and we were afraid to fucking say it. That is not the world that I want to live in. I don't want to live in a world where I'm afraid to say certain words, that I'm worried of saying certain words. And so I'm at the point where I'm like, just fuck these people. Fuck them. I don't care. I'm a fighter. And so I tend to be a contrarian. If you try to threaten me because right now we're being threatened to submission. We're being threatened. Our jobs, our livelihoods, they're being threatened by a bunch of fucking losers who've never accomplished a thing in their lives, right? They're not afraid of being canceled because guess what? They don't have fucking jobs, right? Have you ever seen the episode of South Park where the mayor's trying to bring a whole bunch of hippies into town for a festival? It's a massive festival for hippies. And Cartman's like, you can't bring hippies. Hippies don't have money. You're not going to make money from hippies because hippies don't make money. It's the exact same thing, all right? They're just loud. Unfortunately, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, but we've given them way too much fucking grease. This needs to stop. The friend of mine, same friend, same conversation. He was telling me a story that happened earlier that day at the store. So he saw two guys, they were friends, and one of them called the other one a homo as a joke, like, no, you fucking homo or something. And by the way, I might get canceled for that, so whatever. I was quoting somebody else. I don't give a fuck. So he said that. And somebody else, a third person, a random station, got up in their business about it. You can't say that. It's offensive, blah, blah. I was like, oh, but he's my friend. Doesn't matter. No, it's offensive. It's derogatory, blah, blah. My friend got the fuck out of there. But it's one of those things that's like, really? Is this where I want to live? Honestly. Is this the America is this the life that I want to have, where I'm not comfortable saying words where I have to turn around to say the name of the fucking president? I don't even care if you agree or don't agree with him. There used to be a thing called respect. And in Spanish, actually, a Mexican president said this once. In Spanish, it goes, respeto al derecho ajeno es la paz, which means respect to other people's rights is peace. And that's where we're fucking heading. Like, people are getting upset because you're trying to cancel so many fucking things. They're trying to cancel George fucking Washington. All right, they've burned down a statue. They try to cancel the Virgin Mary. The Virgin Mary, what the fuck did she do? They're trying to cancel, Abe Lincoln, because he's an abolitionist. He freed the slaves, so clearly he's a fucking racist. They're trying to cancel so many things that make no sense, and there's a point when you're like, enough is fucking enough. You took advantage of our fucking kindness, and that's the thing. You took advantage of people's goodwill, of our desire to be, you know what? All right, fine. Maybe that was a little bit mean, but no. Now, this is the line in the sand. I'm done. I'm done caving for these people. Done. Actually, I was done before, but now I'm actually saying it here. I said it before, but I wasn't saying it here. Now I'm saying it. Fuck these people. We've given enough. They've given us nothing back. Only a world where you're uncomfortable outside talking with your friends. Fuck that. And it all brings me back to, I think it was Dave Chappelle. I'm not sure if it's Dave Chappelle or Louis C.K., but I think it was Dave Chappelle that says, at what point do I stop being, am I responsible for your feelings? Right? And it's this valid question. When do I start being responsible for your feelings? When are you responsible for your own fucking feelings, right? And wherever that point, I want to know. It's a serious question. I want to know where the line is, because exactly where you say that line is, it comes all the way back to me. If I have to respect that line for you, you have to respect it for me, Yeah, right? Otherwise, you're a fucking hypocrite. It's like, our rules are for you, but not for me. I'm exempt to all this stuff. Fuck that. No, I ain't taking it. Not lying down. No, not anymore. You've taken too much. You've given nothing. You've only made things worse, right? And again, you're starting to make people go a little bit crazy. And once you push people far enough, they will push back. And when you push back, you push hard, because once it turns out that when you push 1,000 paper tigers, guess what? They all fold. And they fold hard. Let's just say they fold pretty hard. They do not hold up to scrutiny. They do not. And the thing that I hate right now, it drives me nuts, is the argument that they're trying to use is that if you're not with us, you're against us, right? You're not with us, you're against us. You're the problem. Like, if you have to be anti-racist. It's not enough to just not be racist. You have to be anti-racist, right? You have to be anti whatever I say you have to be anti. This is why don't apologize, all right? Don't ever fucking apologize if you did nothing wrong. If you did something wrong and morally you know it or you feel it, apologize, because that's the correct thing to do. But if you did nothing wrong, they're trying to cancel you. Like right now, somebody tries to cancel me and we're like, all right, apologize. No, you know why? Because once you apologize, then you're admitting that that's what you did, right? If I said, like, if somebody's being called, I don't know, an idiot, right? It's like, oh, well, I'm sorry, I was an idiot. Then, well, let's say, no, even easier, racist. Like, if somebody accuses you of being a racist because you said something that they thought was racist, and you apologize for it, like, I'm sorry, it could have been understood that way, then they're like, aha, you admitted it. You were a racist. And then they got you by the balls forever. Do not give them an inch. You give them an inch, they will take a fucking mile. And this whole, like I said, I hate this argument. I know that a lot of people are talking like, oh, we're living in 1984 right now. 1984, for those of you who don't know, it's a book by George Orwell about a dystopian future. It's a pretty good book. But no, to me, right now it feels way more like Animal Farm. If you've, again, book by George Orwell. If you've never read Animal Farm, I highly recommend it. It's a small book. It's like 100 pages, maybe a little bit more. And it's a fairy tale, but it's a fairy tale that very closely looks like the rise of socialism in Russia. And you know, you got pigs running things, you got horses. It's the legit Animal Farm, and every animal does different things, and it closely resembles history. Weird. Anyway, in that book, and I like the simplified version of it, there's a character there called Squealer, right? Squealer the pig. And it drives me nuts how Squealer, let's say, manipulates information. Let's say you were there and you saw something. And then all of a sudden, Squealer's like, no, but it happened differently. It happened differently, right? It wasn't that way. It was this way. You probably don't remember it correctly because you're not as smart as me. But it would happen differently. Also, what are you saying? Are you saying that, the whole thing is that it's an animal farm and they kind of pushed away the humans because the humans sucked and they decided to run it by themselves. So it's a farm that's being run by actual animal farms because the humans sucked and they were terrible at running that farm. And so they kicked them out. And so whenever any argument came up, they were like, "What? Well, the Squealer was, what do you not like this? Well, do you want the humans to come back? Do you want the humans to come back? Is that what you want? Is that what you're saying?" And the animals were like, no, and they immediately back off. And to me, that's the most bullshit argument ever. Just because I don't agree with you does not mean that I am like the exact same opposite that you're trying to accuse me of. So again, let's stick with the racist argument. In the Black Lives Matter, because right now it's a big thing, it's a big controversy. They try to cancel Terry Crews, one of the coolest dudes out there who's saying a reasonable argument, but or Drew Brees, even better, right? Drew Brees said nothing wrong. He said nothing controversial. He just was like, all right, you asked me about something. This is how I feel about it. He didn't insult anybody. He didn't say, don't do this. He just said, I don't support it. That's it. He wasn't actively against it, but he was like, I can never support it. To me, that's it. But it's like, all right, if you're not, and then the argument is like, all right, well, if you're not for this, then you're against it. Then you're a racist. How about if I just disagree? How about if maybe your argument is dumb? How about if I just think that how about if I agree with the sentiment, but your idea was dumb? That's possible. It's a possibility that you're wrong, right? You might be right in identifying a problem. The solution just sucks. You got the wrong solution. That is a possibility, all right? It's possible that we 100% agree on a problem. It's possible that we 100% agree on needing a solution. It's just also possible that I disagree with your solution. All right? That doesn't mean that I'm against you. And so you trying to paint me as something that I'm not is disgusting. And to me, it's honestly, it's a very, I don't want to say it's a low form of argument. Well, yeah, it's a low form of argument because then there's nothing to discuss. Because what am I supposed to say? Like, no, you're wrong, you're just an a-hole. And then the conversation ends? Like, the problem is that it puts you in the defensive. Instead of actually having a conversation, you're just being attacked and attacked. And it's happened with so many people that I know. Like, they're actually on the attack. And honestly, I get it. They're desperate animals. They're like, oh, no, I don't want to get canceled, and I don't want to get canceled, so I'm like, oh, I'll join the mob. No, all right? You're making paper tigers stronger, right? You are becoming a paper tiger. This needs to stop. This needs to end. I can't tell you how many calls I get on the morning show. I can't tell you how many messages. People are being upset. And also, one or two people thought that I got canceled because sometimes I don't give a fuck and I just say what I think. And a part of it is that I don't really care about consequences if I'm telling the truth. And also because I'm building my own thing. So, yeah, good luck trying to get me to fire myself. Not going to happen. So, I wholeheartedly believe that everybody should be allowed to say anything and everybody should have a platform. The only reason why somebody should get kicked out of a platform or anything is if they do something illegal. You're allowed to have... The beauty of America is that you're allowed to have a stupid opinion. That is your right as an American citizen. I also happen to have the right to not have to agree with you, to not support you. So, for example, a perfect example here, Nick Cannon, right? Nick Cannon, he's in a controversy today because he said a whole bunch of anti-Semitic things. And regardless of how you feel about that, one way or the other, Nick Cannon should not be canceled from social media or what all that stuff. He got fired. Now, that is his boss's right. They have the right to fire him. If you're an employee for a company and the company's like, you're making us look bad, they have the right to fire you. Do I think that he should have been fired for something that he said? Nah, maybe. Honestly, I would not have kept him as an employee for the exact same reason. Like, dude, you're saying something like that's clearly anti-Semitic on our channel. That makes us look bad. We do not agree with this. We're gonna get rid of you. However, it's very different that Nick Cannon should be kicked off social media for it. It's very different that he get barred from getting any other job ever for the rest of his life. It's because the thing that you want to do here is you want to educate him. The beauty here is that he said it out loud. This is why I don't like censorship. This is why I don't like canceling. I don't like any of these stuff. Because now we know what he thinks, right? And sunlight is the best disinfectant for bad ideas. So as long as they have platforms, we know who thinks what, right? Sun Tzu, Art of War. The more information that you have, the better. You want to know what your enemy's thinking, right? And so if you know, all right, this is what Nick Cannon thinks, you know, if you're a person who disagrees with anti-Semitism, you know to avoid him. Or if you're somebody who's trying to educate people, you're like, all right, okay, let's have a conversation. You know who you want to educate now because he has a platform and he can, maybe he can change, maybe not. I don't know. It depends. But getting fired, private companies, they can do whatever they want. If somebody started an active campaign to screw him, like there's a difference between I said something stupid and that is clearly not appropriate and clearly not within company lines and I get fired, and there's something to what I've said right now that I don't feel like I've said anything controversial or somebody somebody digging up something that I said in the past that was controversial, that it was okay to say back then, but it's not okay to say now. Somebody digging that up, somebody sending that to my boss and being like, hey, why are you supporting this bigot, right? Because that's what they do now. They find something that you've said. Well, they've been doing this for a while. They found tweet that you did 20 years ago that you probably already forgot about, or you probably even apologized for it. And you're like, you know what, I was a young kid, whatever, or a joke. And they try to cancel you for that. Now they've actually stepped it up. They've started calling, if you have a TV show, they start calling your sponsors. And they're like, for example, let's say I had a sponsor. Let's say I had a sponsor and it's, I don't know, what is it? Lizard Drinks. Let's say that I have the sponsor called Lizard Drinks. So if I say something that offends you, you get your you send you send an email to your email list of activists, and they're like, all right, we're gonna call this company and we're gonna ask them, like, why are you racists? Like, why are you bigots? Like, oh, we're not bigots. What are you talking about? Well, you advertise on this person's show and that person's a bigot, so why are you a bigot? Like, do you only want to put a statement out of it? Or this whole, like, silence is violence. Like, companies, stay the fuck out of the culture war. Do yourself a favor. I was very happy when I heard that a whole bunch of companies were going to not advertise because the climate is so hot. Free advice. And I think it came from Michael Jordan, free advice. I remember they asked him once, like, hey, why aren't you political? Like, why aren't you more involved or something? And his answer was something that was around this. His answer was, because conservatives buy shoes too. And that's it. That's the way you should look at it. If you're a company, stay the fuck out of it. If somebody asks you, like, if you're a company and somebody asks, again, Lizard Drinks, and somebody asks you, like, hey, what do you think about Black Lives Matter? You should be like, if they want to buy drinks, we'll sell it to them. That's it. We sell drinks. Like, oh, so you support this? Like, no, we sell drinks. And your answer should always be, we sell drinks. And if somebody calls you and like, hey, you got to fire this person. No, always defend your people. Okay. If you know them, if they're good people, if they haven't really done anything that's wrong, like, again, exemptions to the people who do it in that moment and who say something really fucked up. Like, I have no issues with somebody getting fired over something stupid that they said in that moment. I have issues when you get fired for something you said 10 years ago when it was a joke. All right? Or it wasn't, it was okay back then. That's when I have issues. But anyway, let's get back to this. So yeah, protect your people. Always protect. I know that people are afraid of speaking out because, oh my God, I'm going to get fired. I'm going to get fired from my job. If your boss will fire you because somebody is calling them and being like, oh, this person said this, and this, and they're bigot, blah, blah, blah. Fuck that company. Honestly, if they'll fire you for that, fuck them. If that's the loyalty that they have to you, for you, fuck them. You deserve better. And that's gross. And it's this, and the fact that they would cave. Again, caving to a whole bunch of this. What? You don't want to get phone calls? You don't want to get emails? You know what happens? There's a term out there that says go woke, go broke, right? Go woke, go broke. Usually when companies go woke, they end up going broke. They fail. Why? Because people are sick of this. The silent majority. There's a thing out there called the silent majority. It is most of us. We hate this shit. All right? We don't want to live in this world. It's the silent majority. We don't speak out because we're afraid of losing our jobs. But most of us hate it. Hate it. We hate living on pins and needles. If you're one of those people who hates it, first off, again, I recommend just Twitter, get out of it. Twitter's stupid. I hate Twitter in general, so I recommend stay out of it. Second, do not support it. Ever. Either stay away or actively defend people who aren't, or even if you don't want to say something, because again, you're afraid, do it secretly. Like Terry Crews, they're trying to cancel him, support his work. Download his movies. Like watch his work. Watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like his posts. Like stuff. So anything that you give Terry Crews more attention, more followers, or whatever, it'll be good for him. J.K. Rowling, they try to cancel her, buy her books, or give her books good reviews. Give Terry Crews stuff good reviews. All that stuff helps. All right, it might be silent, and honestly, it's not as cool as just going out and saying like, "Hey, fuck you for trying to cancel me," because people who do that, honestly, their sales go up. Like the Goya CEO, he said, "Fuck you, I'm not apologizing." Goya sales are going up because most of us are sick of this shit, and most of us are. This is a culture war, and we're looking for culture warriors. What do you think Trump is so popular? Trump is probably the most important culture warrior right now, and that's why he has such a big fan base. And it's because like they feel that this is our shelter from the storm, right? Like, all right, this is our dude, and he's gonna protect us. Find more. There's people out there that are willing to step up, at least for themselves. And when they do, they become, in a way, folk heroes. Like there's stories of that all throughout history. The people who stand up always are appreciated because the silent majority appreciates it. So I think that's it for today. That's a good start. So I did not expect to go that long, but I guess I was really upset by all this. As always, any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram or at SuperDario_World. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next time.